We are like,
Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to Cornetikin Quickly podcast. With me, it's Nikhil, Arun, and Sai. Arun and Sai are from the Gold Difference, so do follow them, guys. They have a really good page on their Instagram account. So, yeah. So, starting off with the podcast. Hi, guys. How was your game week? Nikhil, Arun, and Sai.
mine was I scored 54 points, just above the average, but not decent enough to be happy. I had Lamte as my fourth substitute, and don't know why. He scored more points than my whole defense. What
Okay.
about you, Arun?
I
Hi, Arun.
personally
How are you doing?
got. I'm good. I'm good. I personally got 48 points, which is less. But I'm the TTT team did okay. Like it wasn't a good game week, I guess. There were not many clean sheets in defense as well. So, I mean, Saiz didn't play, Mitchell didn't play. We had a lot of random. Nori started for Wolves in that, and he scored as well. So I don't know about Saiz's position now. I think I'll keep him for another week. And yeah, I mean, Jimenez also didn't do anything. So I mean, I didn't get points. Harry Kane was my captain. He scored a goal. Salah scored a goal. That's it. Zaha also gave just a point. So overall, it was not a good game week.
For me as well. Like I scored 54 points, but considering I took the wild card and like scoring a 54 pointer, especially with Lamptey on the bench with him being my first sub, so that bumps me out a little. Considering that I took in Phil Foden, who just made a guest appearance in the game against the Bleeds. So,
Hmm.
like, not a satisfactory game week for me, but yeah, in the long run, maybe uh, can do some changes here or there. Yeah. So, Sai, yeah, back online. How was your game week, man?
I mean, it was pretty mixed, I feel, because I didn't have Roman size and Pulisic playing for me. And nobody on my bench was playing as well, because of which I was effectively playing with only 9 players. But in spite of that, I think because of Grealish, I managed to score 68, which
That's
I think
amazing.
could have been improved if I had two more players playing.
Yeah. We can then start off with the questions, guys. I'll just Yeah. So, considering that finally, that West Ham's fixtures are changing right now. All right. So, who is the must pick for you? If you can give me your priority list, that would be great. Otherwise, you can list out the players who are on the wish list for you. Starting off with Nikhil. Like we can quickly do this, right?
Yeah, my only pick would be Suchek because he
Okay.
goes into
Okay.
those areas. He can score, and if West Ham defend well, he'll get the clean sheets also. But he has a chance of scoring, and Antonio is injured, so I'm not sure who will play up top. Moyes doesn't have a second, like consistently playing backup. Yarmolenko can play as a false nine, but he doesn't have a proper strike. Haller is used from the bench even when Antonio is out, so I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone will be consistent enough. So only Suchek.
So, Arun, you can tell me about your.
I have two players to pick from the West Ham team. The first one is Jared Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
I know he scored in two games only, but he scored three goals in two games. It's not a great return, but he is. I feel he'll be a good player to watch, and he's got Fulham now, so I think he'll be giving points to his owners. And
Yeah.
my second pick would be Ata Masuaku. He plays as a wing back in Moises' team. He's only 4.5, I guess. So I think that would be another pick for me in from West Ham United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was either
So
going to go for Arthur Masuaku or Fornals, but I think West Ham as an entire defensive unit might do well in their next two games against Fulham and Sheffield. Yeah. After which they play Aston Villa. So Aston Villa have also been, on a roller coaster ride. So it depends on what kind of form they are in on that day. But I
yeah.
think the defense would be doing very well for West Ham.
For me, guys, it's Antonio in the first pecking order. So any day, if he's fit, then he starts for me. Otherwise, it's Cresswell. Cresswell has done really well, and Fornals. So yeah, those were my list. So moving on to our second question, guys. What do you think about Arsenal's defense now, especially with their performance at the Old Trafford? It seems like they have a trustworthy defense. So, guys, quickly, maybe Sai can tell us about your.
Yeah, so I think I was telling Arun last week that we should be picking Bellerin because he, first of all, plays as a wingback and he goes ahead a lot. And also, Arsenal as a defensive unit right now, they are looking very steady. I don't think Manchester United is like a big testing or was a big testing ground for them. But yeah, the fact that they kept a clean sheet maybe says something. And they also have like Aston Villa, Leeds, and I think Wolves coming up in their next three game weeks. I think they would be able to tackle that very well with
Yeah,
Bellerin and probably a Kieran Tierney who with
yeah,
potential options for FPL managers.
yeah, especially considering that he's just 0.3 million more expensive than Lamptey, Bellerin. He's just at
Yeah.
5.4 million. So, yeah, quite a good pick. Nikhil, yeah, you can
My
tell.
defensive wise, I don't generally pick centre backs because in Arsenal, only Pepe is the main, is the, like, what do you say, proper set piece taker for them. Others are like haywire. Sometimes they are hit and miss most of the time. But when Pepe is not playing, there's no chance of a centre back scoring from a corner. So no, none of the centre backs from me. And they keep clean sheets, but I'd rather look for attacking people like Bellerin or Tierney. That's all.
Yeah.
Tierney is bombing the left side more, and Bellerin has also started doing that in the last few matches. So if they keep up the good work, I think Tierney and Bellerin only are the options, viable options right now.
Yeah, sounds good. And Arun, for you?
So for me, it would be Bellerin as well. I remember Sai telling me, let's punt on Bellerin. Bellerin's a good option, and he had him in his team as well. I think he gave 12 points. He gave the assist. He won the penalty, I think, against United. So
Yeah.
he's a really good option. I think now for the fixtures that they have. Yeah, that's my only pick from the Arsenal defense. Maybe Leno, but it's Bellerin for me. If I had to pick someone from the Arsenal defense, it would be Bellerin.
Yeah, sounds good. And then, guys, moving on to our next question. Um, what is it with Brighton, guys? Like just the previous podcast, I said that Neil Maupay is one of the talismans of Brighton and happened to get dropped the very next game week. So, what's your take on it? Maybe starting off with Tarun.
Yeah, so I saw Potter's pre-match interview, and he had said that there's no injury. He just dropped for tactical reasons. Now I don't know why that was, but they really missed him against Tottenham. But for me, the one player to own from Brighton would be only Lamptey. There's
Yeah,
nobody else. I think even Dunk has not been the Dunk that we know for the last 2 or 3 years. So Lamptey is the only FPL asset at Brighton right now. There are better options than Mope in the striking role, as we discussed in the last podcast here. We have Bamford and we have Watkins and now Callum Wilson as well. So yeah, I mean, Brighton are not like they play attacking football, but you don't know which attacker is going to give points at which stage. So I think Lamptey for me in the Brighton team would be the only pick.
yeah, especially considering that Brighton haven't kept that many clean sheets and Ryan himself got dropped.
Yeah,
And moreover, that in the forward line they've got Trossard or the other guy Mope. So both of them, in like there are better 6 million forwards than those two. So it's better to go for a Wilson or a Bamford rather than or for that matter Watkins also. So like those are better punts than maybe a Mope or a Trossard.
Mopes was a disciplinary issue. I think like he had a row
Yeah,
with a teammate in the training. That's why he was dropped.
maybe because there was no tactical reason as to why he
Yeah.
was dropped.
Yeah.
Some Brighton journalist was posted this on Twitter, like because I think Neil Maupay had an altercation with one of his teammates. That's why he was dropped. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know
don't
that actually.
I don't think he'll play the next week as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, I'll just move on to the next question with Sai. What is your take on Bruno Fernandes? Like, considering that he was taken out at the 74th minute against Arsenal. So, like, as a long-term pick, what do you consider? Because he's been shoved on the right-hand side and just only gets us goals from the penalties. So, is it the effect of Marshall not being there, or it's just a tactical thing by Oli? Right?
I think yes. A primary reason is because Martial isn't in the team, and they did not. And right now, they do not have the same, flow as they did at the end of last season with Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood as their front
Hmm.
three. And a lot of Bruno's performances also directly linked to how many fouls the forwards can actually gather inside the penalty box. That hasn't happened a lot this season, probably because they're too afraid to dribble past defenders, or the defenders know their play very well. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, like you said, it's because of the penalty drought that Bruno is not much of an attraction to FPL managers at that price range.
Yeah. And yeah, Nikhil.
Same thing. Like if United are not getting into the box to get box enough to get penalties also. So there's no point in having a player who relies on penalties so much.
No, my take was at least in the next two game weeks they've got West Brom and the other team is Everton. Yeah. So
West
they've got
Brom could be a good
Everton.
option.
Yeah. So that's what after game week 10, it's a must to have a Man City asset. But like at least in the current, I'm just having Bruno Fernandes just as a placeholder for maybe a De Bruyne um, in the future. Yeah. So yeah, moving on to our next question, guys. Jack Grealish as an asset, starting off with Arun.
Yeah, so everything good that goes through Villa goes comes from Jack Grealish, and Sai has him as well in his team. And, I mean, he's one player who I actually want in my team. So he's cheap at 7.4. I think he's today's price increased as well. So yeah, I mean, he drives from the midfield base to the attack, and he's taking up a lot of attacking positions on the left as well. And with Barkley playing deep also now, giving Grealish, room to go forward and attack. So I think, yeah, I mean, Grealish is a good option to have in your teams right now. So we should manager should consider him. Aston Villa have good fixtures as well, and he is in form. He gave 15 points in the last game against Southampton. So yeah, Grealish is a great pick. He's one to have for
Uh,
sure.
just one point over there. Like contrary to
Yeah.
what he said, although I have Grealish in my team, I was watching Villa's game like the last two game weeks, and for some reason, Grealish did not pass the eye test for me. I had already bought him before, I think, game week 5 or game week 6. So I did not have much of an option but to keep him. Thankfully, he gave me the points that he gave last game week. But even when you see last game week, the goal that he scored was, almost a fluke. Any other goalkeeper on that occasion, on that day, would have probably saved it, and he wouldn't have gotten so many points as he did. And also, Grealish is, although he's very good with his dribbling, he doesn't come inside the box as often as a Zaha does, who's at the same price range. So, if at all you do not have a Zaha and you're looking for a 7.5 million midfielder, I would probably suggest people to go for Zaha. because he's playing as a second striker right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
with Zaha, it's that thing, no? Like whenever we pick him, he doesn't perform, and whenever we drop him, he starts to perform. There's this baggy.
You
So
I've
let me
had
know
good
when
I
you're
luck
think
with
not picking
Zaha.
him.
I've had good
You
luck
let
with
me know
Zaha.
when you're not picking him. I'll pick him.
No, but Zaha is playing as a forward for Palace. Grealish is still on the left side of midfield, so it's obvious that
yeah,
Zaha would get more points. But I saw Grealish's game. He was good. I mean, he at that price range, I think he's giving points like he's cheaper than Hamas as well. So
hmm.
I mean, I would pick him. I mean, Sai has a different
Also,
opinion,
I,
but
I don't know if Watkins is going to be the penalty taker or Grealish going forward.
I
It
feel
could
Grealish
be
should take that
even
penalty.
this guy, the loanee from Chelsea, Ross
Barkley.
Barkley. Yeah,
Barkley.
yeah. So he could be the penalty taker as well. He used to be for Chelsea at least. So
No, that
we don't
changed to
Yeah,
know as of yet.
Jorginho later on. That changed to
yeah,
Jorginho later.
yeah.
Barkley missed the penalty against Valencia last season. Then Lampard changed it after that.
Yeah. Nikhil, for you?
Yeah, for me, Grealish is a good player. Like, but he's that player who plays the pass before the assist. See, normally does like he gets you the points some weeks, but most of the when he plays good, plays the pass just before the assist. So he's not getting those points. He might get the bonus point, but he won't get the like points consistently. So in long term view, I don't think I'll have Grealish, but looking at the fixtures, when he has the fixtures against the lower half teams, I'll have him in the team. But there are many other options better than him. So
Yeah.
Zaha,
If you can spare zero point 0.8 million more, then even James Rodriguez is not that bad a pick. Like considering he's having his price drops and all. So like he's not a bad pick. Like he just had one game week gone just because of not being fit. And even like being a DCL owner, I would be praying that he comes onto the scene because the way Everton played the last game week, it looked appalling. So I just want those the Dean and James Rodriguez to come in quickly so that DCL can start putting in the goals again. So last question for the day, guys. Like, what do you rather I should frame it differently. What is your take on Leeds' assets? Who's the best for you, and who's just an avoid at this point, considering the way they were playing? Starting off with Sai.
I think all of us are probably going to pick the same team. But yeah, for me, it's going to be Patrick Bamford. Given that the service he gets from either wings, from Jack Harrison and from Helder Costa, from Grealish down the center, he gets into those goal scoring areas a lot. And it's just a question of one tap, for him to
Yeah.
get a goal every match.
He isn't
And
even,
Leeds,
even that clinical a finisher as compared to other strikers in the Premier League. But considering the way he gets a service from all over
yeah,
the pitch, it seems
yeah.
like really nice asset to have. But apart from him, maybe a Dallas or an Ailing or maybe even a Helder Costa for you. Who's
Not really, because I'm not very attracted to Leeds defense right now, because even as a team, they are more focused on attacking than defense. They just seem to be a team which wants to score more goals than they concede. That's it.
yeah, yeah, true. So Arun, what's your take on it?
From Leeds, I think only Patrick Bamford, as Sai pointed out, is worth taking in the team. In defense, I wouldn't pick anybody. Maybe Ailing, but then again, they don't keep clean sheets. We saw Leicester rip them apart on Monday night. So I think like they have more focus on attack, as he said. And no, I mean only against the smaller teams, I think Leeds might keep clean sheets, but then again, we don't know that. So I think Patrick Bamford is one, maybe Helder Costa, but that is because he's giving assists to Bamford. But apart from that, I wouldn't pick anyone else from the Leeds team in my team.
Yeah, and Nikhil, finally.
same. Only Bamford is worth the risk. Costa gives an assist one week, next week he blanks out. So he's also inconsistent. So he's also that player. No, he plays the pass before the assist most of the time. So I'm not sure about any other player. Although Dallas is a good pick, differential pick, but I think Bamford is the only option if you're looking for a Leeds player.
No, with Dallas, what I found out is he starts off in the defense and then like plays in the midfield. So like he's extremely flexible against teams which sit deep. It's generally Dallas who's bombing forward, taking up the attacking positions, which was clarified by the goal that they scored against Leicester. So like he's a differential, good differential pick. He's in my team though. So like I'll just have a go on him. I'll not change something which is not broken. So Dallas got me 6 points the last game week, so I won't be changing it anytime soon, at least for the next 2 games. Yeah. So those were our questions, guys. Thank you, Arun and Sai, for joining us in. It is always a pleasure to having you guys and having a discussion about Fantasy Premier League. And hope you guys do well in the next game week, and uh, we can have some brighter faces sitting on to our podcast then.
Yeah.
So that's it for the time, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.